This morning, as I was just walking to the UN, there is this young boy that walked up to me and said, "Ma'am, what's this round thing that you're wearing on your lapel?" And then I said, "Well, this is the SDG pin." And he said, you know, blank face, "What's SDG?" He was a bit ashamed to ask, but I said, "Okay, so how do I tell this guy what exactly this pin is about?" So I tried presenting the SDGs to some sort of human body. In the body, you need your lungs, you need your heart, you need your brains, you need the eyes, the hand, the feet. The SDGs are exactly what we need for a healthy global organism called global community. And we need this because it is through putting all these different pieces together that we will make sure we end extreme poverty by 2030 while making sure that we lift everybody's boats at the same time. So the guy seemed to be kind of convinced, but not enough. So he said, "Okay, and what do you do exactly? You know, what's your role in this?" So I tried with him what I will try with you, and then you will tell me whether or not what I've shared with you makes sense. I started with goal number 17. It's about partnerships. And I wanted to start there because international trade, at the end of the day, we are the International Trade Center. International trade is about partnerships. International trade does not work if there is no partnership, if there is no cooperation. The blood doesn't circulate through the entire body if all the countries that make up the international community don't cooperate and collaborate and under one framework called multilateralism make their trading systems work. Goal number 17 is important because it is connected. So trade is about partnerships. But for trade to work, we need to connect goal 17 to goal number 8. It's about sustainable economic growth. What goal 8 tells us is that for trade to work, we need businesses. And what number 8 tells us is that we should care about 99% of businesses called micro, small, and medium enterprises. That's what the International Trade Center focuses on. It's on supporting entrepreneurship, micro, small, and medium companies. Last year, we worked with 300,000 of them all across the world to do what? To make sure they have the right skills. Entrepreneurship is not an art. Entrepreneurship is a skill, and you need your skills to be able to thrive in that market. To make sure that these young entrepreneurs get access to credit and capital. This is something crucial if we are to transform their ability, their ingenuity, their innovation into growth that is sustainable and helps us eradicate extreme poverty. Sometimes what they need is networks, connecting with each other, getting to the seller, connect with the buyer, the investor, connect with an opportunity to invest resources. So number 8 is extremely important to the discussion about international trade. But guess what? If 99% of businesses around the world are small and medium enterprises, 40% of these businesses are women-owned businesses. And that's where number 8 connects with Sustainable Development Goal number 5 that speaks of equality, of eliminating, eradicating discrimination between men and women. And this is also very relevant to the discussion on international trade, because if I look at our figures, only 1 in 5 exporting companies is a woman exporter. They are 40% of businesses, but they are not on the lucrative part of the economy. They are not in international markets. And this discussion matters because companies that are more present in international markets, they are more competitive. And competitiveness matters because competitiveness is better wages, better working conditions, and better contribution to domestic growth. This is what international trade is about. So if we don't have women in international trade, it means that they are relegated to the less lucrative part of our economies. And this is what we see every day, more on the informal sector, more on the part of the economy where rights are not respected, more on the parts of the economy where there is more limited value added. So our goal is to connect 3 million women to markets by 2021. The good news is that we are very close to reaching that figure. The bad news is that there are 1 billion women connected to markets, disconnected from markets, sorry. 1 billion. It doesn't mean that they don't work. They do work, but they don't get paid. It doesn't mean that they are not in the economy. They are, but they are invisible. So our goal is 3 million as soon as possible, and then fix a more ambitious goal, maybe 30 million, maybe 300 million, why not? And for that, back to number 17, we need strong partnerships. Just yesterday, a group of UN agencies came together and decided to build a strong coalition with an American company called Mary Kay. Probably many of you know Mary Kay. They do amazing cosmetic products, but they are committed to supporting women's entrepreneurship. And this is why, and this is how we will make sure that we leave no woman entrepreneur disconnected from markets. But markets is not just markets. Markets need to be sustainable markets. And this is why 17, 8, and 5 connect with SDG number 12, which speaks of sustainable production and consumption. Business is profit. Business is money. Business is employment. But consumption is citizenship. So we need to make sure that producers and consumers have the necessary tools to contribute to more sustainable economies. This is why in the International Trade Center we invest a lot of resources in developing tools and mechanisms that will help companies green their value chains, that will help the farmer produce in a manner that emits less CO2, that helps the farmer build resilience against changes in weather patterns, that helps the company produce in textiles, and we know that textiles is a big producer, emitter of CO2 and pollution. Make sure that they produce the jeans, the shirts, the jackets that we wear in a more sustainable manner. This is our commitment through sustainabilitymap.org that is accessible, freely available online, our contribution to making sure that producers and consumers gain not only greater conscience on the importance of being more sustainable, but they actually do it. They become more sustainable in their business operations. But all of this cannot work if we don't have very strong institutions. And this is where we also invest heavily. Number 16, strong institutions that will help the producers, the consumers, the investors, the markets be more sustainable, but also more equitable conscience. I want to end here and link all these SDGs back to our goal number 1. We need to leverage the economy and markets much better to achieve one goal: eradicate extreme poverty by 2030. That's what I told the young man. This is what I'm telling you. I hope it was interesting. If you want to know more about what the International Trade Center is doing, www.intracen.org. Thank you very much.